Welcome to the Glow Getters podcast. My name is Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt, and I'm your host. I teach and inspire leaders to step into their productive selves and find their true potential. I'm a passionate creative and scientist with over 8 years of healthcare leadership experience. At age 25, I stepped into my first management role and didn't find the leadership advice I was looking for. So here I'm giving you the tools to end burnout and enjoy a vibrant career and life. Glad you're here to learn and grow with me. Now, on with the show. Hey, what's good, humans? I hope you're doing well. Happy day. I'm excited you're here. I'm going to be talking about a couple things. I'm going to be talking about how I've been resting and replenishing myself, why I'm doing that, and what tools I use to do that. And I'm also going to talk about the fact that leaders aren't always excited to be in their work. And I think I'd be remiss to never mention the fact that sometimes we don't feel aligned, or sometimes we just want to hide under the covers or run away, fight or flight, and just not deal with all the things. But I want to share some tools that I have in my toolkit that I can give to you about how am I resilient? How can we be resilient leaders? How do we make sure that what we're doing feels aligned? And what that looks like. And it's kind of like a zigzaggy journey. I don't think it's ever a straight arrow, but just want to be really real with you about some of the thoughts I've had lately about my leadership role and where I'm at. And again, how I'm resting and replenishing. So that's exciting. But before I dive into that, if you haven't listened to the previous podcast episode that launched on Monday, the 13th, I believe, episode 83, I think. Episode 83, episode 84. It's titled, It's Coming, and then Be a Pioneer. Definitely go check that out because I shared some really amazing news. So I'm changing up my leadership collaborative community. So if you've been following for a while, you probably know I have what's called a leadership collaborative community, which is a membership group. And I used to teach monthly leadership topics within the group. And then the community of folks, we would join up and talk about that course material. And it was lovely. And I really enjoyed doing that. Although I kept feeling how can I serve more people? How can I show up more consistently in a way that feels a little bit better to me? Because as a perfectionist, it was also very hard for me to come up with topics sometimes because I felt like it had to be very specifically themed. You know me, I was it has to be perfectly curated. And that was kind of stopping me from being consistent. So I just felt like there was a little bit of misalignment there. So I've been ruminating on this and I thought, gosh, I need to talk more about the course that's within the leadership collaborative community. So when I created the community, I also launched a course at the same time, which is called the Leader Toolkit. And it has 4 modules. The first one is your custom learning plan. The second one is intentional time. The third one is know yourself and your people. And the fourth one is get results. And it's this wonderful, wonderful self-paced course where you get YouTube videos that I've recorded and done myself. I created worksheets, PDF worksheets, and course material for each module. And I have digital downloads if there are documents that are associated, like how when I teach you how to use the leader standard work or visual management. And so it's this awesome course that I barely ever talk about. I will link a video in the show notes where I do talk about when it launches from my YouTube channel, so you can check it out. So what I'm doing to feel more in alignment, to reach more people, to be more consistent, to cultivate a bigger network of leaders where we can collaborate is open up the leadership collaborative community and change it to a space where, number one, you purchase the course, a one-time fee. It's going to be $50, $50 US. You get this leadership course. You're also going to get any add-ons I create to the course. So I already know I want to, as my friend Mindy would say, add a Jenga on top of this course and add additional modules over time, some communication strategies I know about that I would really want to go deeper into. Self-awareness and self-acceptance and radical self-belief, purpose and connection, boundaries, going more in depth into the leader standard work, sort of a burnout to vibrance type of Jenga or add-on. So you're going to get all of those. You'll get lifetime access to the Leadership Collaborative community. So when you get the course, then you get put into the community so that you can, number one, have access to everybody in the group who is taking the course or who's already taken it. So you can ask questions, network, meet people, and see how what other people think. And you'll also get access to me in the membership in the Leadership Collaborative. So I'll be in there to give you like one-on-one feedback or coaching as you see it. You can ask me questions. I'll be able to answer questions about the course. You can ask me to go more in depth on topics. And so it'll be more centered around this course or the courses that I offer. And then you just get lifetime access to the community with me in there. So I'm really, really excited. And this is going to launch on October 4th. So if you are not already on my email list, definitely go to the link in my bio at my Instagram at Kayla Fahey-Ahrndt and click join my email list and in the link, and you can sign up, and then you'll get an email to your inbox when the waitlist opens. So I'm just going to have this be like a waitlist situation so that I can send a very curated email specifically to people who are interested to be like, hey, it's open. Here's your link. Here's what you need to know to get started. I'll also have the link to to join my newsletter and my email list in the show notes of this podcast. So you can make sure that you have it available and you're all ready to go. So again, it's opening on October 4th. I'm very excited about it. And I think this is just going to be a way for me to show up more genuinely, more consistently, and like already give you guys a whole bunch of value that it's just been sort of sitting hidden in the community for a long time. So, all right, enough with that. Thanks for joining me for today. Let's talk more about my rest and replenishing and a little bit more about like how leaders don't always feel like excited about their work and sometimes what can help you through that. So, first of all, obviously, if you've been listening for a while, you know, been going through a busy time with work. I'm pregnant, blah, blah, blah. I talk about this like every podcast. But I'm excited. I finally took my week off of work. So I took the Friday before Labor Day off. That was my husband and my 5th wedding anniversary, which is great. We went up to Duluth, Minnesota, which is along like the North Shore, along like Lake Superior. Oh, so freaking beautiful. We stayed right on the lake. We had a walkout hotel room with a balcony, like right up to the lake walk. It's been my dream ever since we got engaged there. My husband went to med school in Duluth. We would spend so much time there. He proposed to me in the rose garden there. We would walk along the boardwalk and I'd always say like, I want to stay right here on the lake and just like walk out in the morning with my coffee and like sit here and like watch the sunrise. And you know what? I freaking did that. We got a room. It was so cool. Right on the lake, had a little patio, and you know, sunrise was at like 6:30 every morning, and I would get up around then or slightly after and just like grab some coffee from the lobby and walk out there and be like, I'm so grateful. I feel like I won the lottery. Like I feel amazing to be, you know, in the presence of the water and this like crisp, clear sun and sky. Like there's nothing like a sunrise over a giant body of water like that. If you love the ocean or like the Great Lakes, if you live in the Midwest or have ever visited, you know what I'm talking about. And that like is so soul fueling and filling. Nothing can take that away from you. So anyways, I have a whole bunch of pictures and memories. And that is the first way that I started to replenish. So we were up there through Labor Day weekend. We ate at our favorite restaurant called Belicio's. It's an Italian restaurant. Highly recommend it. So good. The only regret I have is since I'm pregnant, I can't actually drink any of the wine, and it's an amazing wine bar as well as a restaurant. So go there if you love wine and you love a very vast wine selection. And we also ate at, what's it called? Canal Park Brewery. And it's this really cool scratch food kitchen that's right on the boardwalk too. And I highly recommend the Swedish cream with like fruit on top as your dessert. Um, Impeccable. They do have non-alcoholic beverages, which I greatly appreciate. So shout out to them. Thank you. So we were there, ate amazing food, had a great company, walked, didn't have a ton of plans, went to the beach, picked up rocks. My daughter calls skipping rocks, she calls it going to glub, because when you drop a rock in the water, it sounds like glub. So we glubbed. It was wonderful. And so I was writing down a list of things I was grateful for. Many of the mornings that I was there, I would just like journal on my iPad and in my gratitude journal. And so of course I listed things like lake life, sunshine, perseverance was one of the things, because although sometimes that can feel like a word that just means like keep going no matter what, to me it also means like resilience and like I think never giving up. It's such a hard concept now because it's like, no, like don't run yourself into the ground, don't burn out. But I think persistence and perseverance, when you're in alignment and you know what's true and what's right, and you keep going, but also know that it's okay to take care. That's the kind of perseverance I'm thinking of. And then, of course, I listed rest and then lumlols. So if you guys saw my Instagram post, it's capital LOMLS. Love of my lives. So my husband and my daughter and my baby. So yeah, those are the things that I listed commonly that I'm grateful for right now. And that's helping me rest and replenish. And so, yeah, so we all need to take some time off. And here's another thing. Sometimes you're in a position where you've been in your job for a while and you start to feel like maybe I've done all I can do. Maybe I've learned all that I can learn. Maybe I want something new, something different. Maybe I have other skills that are not being utilized. Maybe I just want to change it up. I just want to shake shiz up. Maybe I want to see what it's like working at a new place. And I just want to tell you that I felt all those things. For example, I love to teach. And so I actually applied and thought about teaching at the university in Minnesota. And when offered, the position or opportunities, I ended up turning it down because I thought, what, I still love what I do. And what if I just tried to incorporate teaching more into what I do every single day? What if I tried to create more courses through this leadership community? How do I fill that void, right? I've also felt, for example, like I'm a really creative person who's in a very sciencey job where science is creative, but also very analytical. And being analytical for me is something that I have to turn on and requires a lot of energy and is very draining. Can I do it? Yeah. Does it make me exhausted? Yeah. So I had to ask myself, how do I cultivate more creativity and use those creative skills in what I currently do? And recognize you can totally be creative in what you do in your current job. You just have to create your own joy. You have to go out there and use your creativity in ways people would never think to use your creativity. That's what makes you fully you. And so it's starting to think about if you're getting itchy to change, or you're feeling like you haven't learned enough, or you're not using a skill, or you feel a void. I think there's a couple ways to handle it. And the first way is thinking about how do I incorporate more of what I want to feel and do and be into my current role? People aren't going to just be like, hey, Kayla, we know you're creative. Why don't you create something? No, they're going to be like, hey, we have a project and here's, what it is. And it's up to me to be like, ooh, how can I insert creativity into executing this and completing this task strategically, right? They're not going to be like, oh, hey, we know you love making presentations. Maybe you should do that to implement this new thing. No, it's going to be up to me to be like, you know what? I love making slide decks. I know, nerdy. I'm going to go out and record a podcast and whatever, and teach and implement this new thing. That's up to you to cultivate more of what you want to see in your current reality. You have to manifest it. The other way is probably more of an unpopular opinion, which is go out and seek what you don't have or what you think would fill your void, and then come back and reflect on your current situation and decide which one's better. So let me just be super blunt. If you're unhappy in your current role, apply to other jobs, interview, and see what you think. Here's the thing. I never thought it was okay to interview. I just thought like, it might be a little bit weird to interview when I have a solid job. And my husband said to me, you know what, Kay, like you want to find out what you think your value is at other places to see if the value that you've been given at your current role is truly going to make you happy, if that is enough for you. And so I remember the first time I applied to another hospital system, and I was so excited. It was in a different role, but using current skill set with different perks that I wanted. And I had to make a really tough decision. It was, do I stay and continue to perhaps be unhappy? Do I stay and flip my mindset and maybe ask for a few things and maybe pull in more of certain skills? Or do I leave and go and like try something new? And here's the thing, especially for Enneagram 3s, people who are achievers, we're always like, ooh, new shiny object, right? We're like, that could be so fun. I can do everything. And I almost took the job. And then I was like, you know what? I learned a lot about me in the interview. I learned about a couple skills that I could be better at. So for example, Excel. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn Excel a lot better. And I'm going to hone in on those skills. Do I need to change my job to do that? Because they said they'd teach it to me? No, but I could if I wanted to. And then it was like, I would love to not have to work holidays or weekends. What could that look like? That could be amazing for our family. And so I was like, well, I wonder if I could ever do that in my current job. And so I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I just feel like I haven't finished everything I've wanted to accomplish in my current role. I love working here. I would really like to stay. I'm just unhappy because I, maybe have felt like I've grown as much as I can in the role. And maybe I'm not inserting enough creativity intentionally. And maybe I just need to ask for a little bit more. And maybe also learning these new skills like Excel will make me excited. So I went back to my current boss and I was like, hey, here's a couple things I'm wondering if you can help me with. I want to grow and develop more. I'm going to learn Excel better. And I was like, are any of these skills things that you can work with me on? And this person was like, yeah, I need help with budgets. I was like, great. I hate finance, but I want to learn Excel. So if you need help with the budgets, like I'll do it. And so I learned a new skill working with her, and it was amazing and it felt wonderful and it was rejuvenating. It was something new in my current role, and I didn't even have to leave my job. But interviewing opened my eyes to a skill set that I didn't know I lacked, that helped me progress. And I used those new skills in my current role every single day. I also was like, hey, what would it take for me not to work weekends or holidays? And they're like, well, it might look like this or a different role. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll work towards that. So eventually, now I'm the manager and I don't work holidays or weekends. And so I've accomplished that over time. I didn't have to leave my current role or place to gain some extra benefits and get excited about my job. So just that one interview totally flipped my mindset about like, well, how could I actually be a better me where I'm at and actually flip my mindset and create excitement back into my current role. So I use this example to share with you that over the years, as I've learned more and felt more comfortable in the role, I started to go through these cycles where I'm like, I feel like I've done everything I can, or I'm a little bit bored because of just my personality. And so when that happens, I go back and do a good like check in with myself. Like, why am I feeling like this? What skills could I learn deeper? Who could I ask for more insight into how I could better grow and develop myself? And then also like, what's constant in your life right now? And I think about like the season I'm in, having children, being like, I feel like I'm in my prime, 20s and 30s, like I'm 31. I feel awesome. There's so much possibility out there. Like one of the really cool constants in my life right now is my job and my work. So how can I grow deeper into it? And so recently I just had a conversation with my boss and we talked about like, well, what would the next steps look like to sort of like expand upon the current role? And we've reflected over the last 2 years about my current job. And it was wonderful because I was like, actually, there's so much more to dive into. It's not just, I've arrived or I've done it. It's like, and actually, there's a lot more. So when I come back from maternity leave, like, boom, I'm excited. So I think when you're going through a season of burnout, there's a few things you can do. And one thing is take some time off and rest where you can and think about what you're grateful for and what lights you up. For you, like, what is your lake superior? What is your walk out to the lake with your coffee in hand, sunshine sort of vibes? Like, what is that for you? And then the second thing you can do is think about like, can I grow my skills even deeper in my current role? By maybe using some of the current skills that I have. Like, how can I bring my creativity more into my work? So maybe for you, it's creativity. Maybe for you, it's more data. Maybe for you, it's more storytelling. Maybe you love like the people aspect of your job that you don't get to enough. Maybe you like marketing. Maybe you want to dive into more to like diversity and equity work. Maybe you want to get into learning more about like the business side of things. Whatever that is, like think about how you can cultivate more of what brings you joy and bring that into your current work. And then third, if you're really feeling like maybe I don't, not sure of my value, or maybe I'm trying to think about what it might look like in a different way or a way to work or a different place, go on an interview. That's fine. Learn about other companies, learn about your skills, learn about what skills other companies find valuable in you, but also learn about like your gaps and then decide, can I bring those gaps to my current reality and fill the gaps and learn and grow? Or do I really need to leave this position and do something totally different? Which if in the end, that's what you come up with, awesome, and go do that. But either way, you can be really confident in your decision. And so whenever I've been feeling sort of burnt out or like I haven't grown enough or whatever, after I do these exercises, I always feel so much more content because I'm like, all right, I thought about it and I made a decision. And once you make a decision that you're going to stay in your role and grow or you're going to leave, like you just feel so much better. Because that weight that you feel when you're like trying to make a decision and there's no closure, that's really uncomfortable. So for me, being in this really hard season, knowing like I am committed to this role, I love this role. When I come back from maternity leave, I'm like growing this role even more. Like gonna like, not necessarily do more, but like align more, get deeper into it, like just be even more committed, like that feels freaking amazing. But it's not without taking that step back and resting and reflecting and looking on the outside and then turning inward. Can I ever be okay and feel comfortable in those decisions? So that was a ton of info, but I hope that helps you because I think when we feel burnt out or misaligned or like stuck in a rut or in a job that doesn't fulfill us, it's not usually the job's fault. Some of it is us flipping our mindset and thinking about it in a different way. And yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it means make a change, get a new job, work elsewhere so you can see outside of what you've always known. But sometimes it also just means like self-development, self-awareness, growing deeper into a role, aligning better, and taking rest for yourself and finding gratitude, finding your lake life, but then finding your excitement and creativity when you're in the work. All right, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to sign up for my email list in the description in the show notes or via the link in my bio so you get notified when the waitlist opens for the course in the Leadership Collaborative community that is opening on October 4th, just in a few weeks. All right, talk soon and take care. Bye. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I wanted to let you know about something new that I'm doing. If you could please leave me a rating and review on iTunes or write in your Apple Podcast app, I would so appreciate it. Each week, I'm going to be doing a drawing and sending an email to a winner just to say thank you with some treats, tips, and a little bit of extras because I really want to get this podcast out to more people and I want to hear how it's helping you, getting feedback about what you love to hear about and what you love about the podcast so I can keep doing that. Also, if you'd like to connect with me on a deeper level, check out my website at glowgetterslife.com. You'll find links to my About Me page so you can learn about me and my journey in leadership. You'll find links to my blog, my podcast for more episodes, and to my YouTube channel. And you can also find links to the templates and leadership planners I've created, as well as my free resource library. All right, thanks so much. And until next time, be a light.